So dogma means wrong teaching said to be right teaching. Wrong process said to be right process. For example, worship of the group, worship of the form of the group, worship of the corporate structure of the group, climbing the lattice work of the bureaucracy in order to say that that shows that you're advanced because now you're on a higher level of bureaucracy. All these things are false processes. They're dogmatic, and they produce false teachings, such as the false teaching that some kind of governing body commission automatically has a self-corrective mechanism intrinsic to it, when the guru never gave it that, because a guru cannot give it that. Just like a guru cannot say Shiva is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A guru can say that Shiva is the Supreme Personality of Servitor Godhead, his Lordship Shiva. Yes, very, very exalted, has his own sampradaya. But he's not Ishvaraha Parama Krishna. If a guru says that, he's not guru. You have to give the teaching as it is. That's called siddhanta. That is called radical, going to the root. Here is the teaching as it is. Here's the process as it is. And the process and the teaching doesn't say that worship of the corporate structure of the occult teachings within that are dogmatic, that these worshiping these teachings, these sayings, these Prabhupada says, this is not the absolute truth. This is superfluous to the absolute truth. It's flotsam coming off the original boat. It's not the real thing.
You know, the Krishna conscious movement, since Prabhupada disappeared the last 30 plus years, there are a lot of people who've joined it in the last 30 years. And a lot of these people like Krishna consciousness, and they like the gurus, and they like going to Rath Yatras, the festivals, and they're very active. These people, they would respond to what you're saying by saying, well, you sound very negative, or you sound dogmatic, or bitter almost. Surely it's a good thing that since Prabhupada disappeared, that, you know, his books have continued to be distributed, and that the deity worship has gone on, and classes are going on. Do you see any benefit from any of these things?
Well, the Gaudiya Math could use the same argument, but Prabhupada didn't accept it back then. When Prabhupada formed the League of Devotees in Jhansi in the 50s, Prabhupada didn't form a branch of the Gaudiya Math. So he didn't think that there was a great deal of value in what was going on with the Gaudiya Math, but they were making devotees, they were spreading throughout India still. And when he came to America, he's an initiate of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami. Prabhupada came to America. He didn't call his society Gaudiya Math. So that argument could have been given back then, that why are you doing this? We have disciples, we have devotees who are very dedicated to the gurus and the Gaudiya Math. Why aren't you staying with the Gaudiya Math? Prabhupada saw something that was not right going on. And in his own books, you mentioned the books you say are still spreading. Yeah, they're still being spread a little bit. But the books are being changed with hundreds and thousands of different changes that are unauthorized. So whether you're getting the actual teachings or whether you're getting dumbed down, watered down versions of what Prabhupada actually taught, that's a very major question. And the honest answer to that question is that they are dumbed down. They are watered down. They've been changed, which means now, in many ways, in many sentences in those books, it's unauthorized. It's just like, we know of one real blatant example of this, although there's more than one that I could give, but I'll just give one. But in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the Adi Lila, right near the beginning, it talks about the Parampara, and it talks about Narottam Das Thakur and Vishwanath and Chakravarti Thakur and gurus of that time who never met, who never could have met on the physical plane because their lifespans while they were on the physical plane didn't overlap. but yet Prabhupada said one initiated the other. He used the term when he made his original writing that one initiated the other, even though they never met on the physical plane. But then this got changed later on after Prabhupada left. There's just one blatant example of an obvious motivation that has caused an obvious change, which means that a teaching, which was a siddhanta, got turned into a dogma by the change. I could give more, but the fact of the matter is that if the argument is made the books are still being distributed, but are the books still the same? This is a major argument because even Prabhupada talks about the Christian religion, that what's going on in the name of the Bible isn't the original teachings of Christ. The original Bible, that's the oldest Bible existing now, is 400 AD, and only a fragment of it. So what were Christ's original teachings could be questioned, or are these the teachings of later writers? The point is that a watered-down, dumbed-down version of Krishna consciousness, to say that it's greatly valuable, is just flat-out wrong. It leads to complacency. It leads to a consciousness of, well, I'll go back to Godhead when you won't. Because to go back to Godhead is very difficult. Spiritual life is undoubtedly difficult, and to go back to Godhead is extremely difficult. Someone say radical. What's the most radical thing? The most radical thing is to give up all connection to material life, to material consciousness, to material existence, and to go back and reestablish your relationship, your rasa, your sambandha, with the Supreme Personality of Godhead for eternity in the spiritual sky, and to get out of the wheel of samsara and not just merely reach Brahman, which you won't be able to stay in anyway because there's no Ananda there. No real Ananda. There's Brahmananda, but that's not real Ananda. The real Ananda is present when you go beyond the Brahmajyoti. So all these arguments on the social plane, that socially we have so many devotees. If a devotee is claiming to have the Bhakti Lata Beach and to be initiated, is there any way materially to substantiate it? The answer is negative. You cannot have an affirmative answer to that because all conditioned souls can only establish as facts things within their pratyaksha purview, a little bit of anuman. But they don't have any transcendental vision. Their senses are limited, their mind is limited, their brain is limited. They can't, no conditioned soul can say, you received initiation. And including the person who's initiated, if there's contradictions showing that maybe you did not. It can't be proved in a court of law. It can't be proved as a fact on this plane. Therefore, what needs to be proved is that are the teachings, is the Siddhanta staying exactly the same? Is the process staying exactly the same? If the process is exactly the same, if everything is being done according to what was authorized by the previous acharya, and we say acharya here, we mean sampradaya acharya, not just a normal, regular madhyamadacharya. We're talking about the sampradaya acharya. We're talking about the Mahabhagavat. So what Srila Prabhupada said was authorized. Is that continuing? Is his orders that he gave, his self-effulgent, self-evident orders, are they continuing? If they are, then fine. Then genuine guru must be present or should be present. If a guru is present and the orders are being followed, then he's guru. But if the guru that is pretending to be guru is not guru and he's giving initiation, then he's not giving the Bhakti Lata Beach. He's giving some kind of other initiation. For example, he may be giving the quote-unquote, with quotation marks on each side of it, ISKCON Beach. Or he may be giving a beach in relation to what is his specialty. For example, he might have a specialty of love bombing, or he might have a specialty of making money. Whatever is his specialty, he might initiate that inspiration and beach into the follower.